All right. You guys all full?
Oh, I'm so full. Justin and I were supposed to share the fries.
Oh.
Did you even have one?
I had a few, not many.
I ate the rest.
But I got
of
the
it.
double. I got the double burger, so that was good.
Yep.
It was
good. Awesome. So, congratulations,
Thank you,
Justin. Setting records, doing well. Second win in a row, right? Yeah.
Second win in a
Last year
row.
you won the Prodigium. Dave Veda won the first year, right? Is that true?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dave Beta.
Yep.
In a
Awesome.
three-way tie the first year, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We had the playoff.
They had the playoff,
Yep.
and I think he absolutely smoked it in the playoff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Yep. And then, so we're going to do playoff for second and third place right here. And fourth place, I mean, this is pretty much
top
the
four.
top.
And the best female miniature golfer in the entire northeastern United States.
no question.
Easily. So as far as the future of mini golf. So I want to kind of talk about less about Prodigy itself because it's my course. I'm a little biased about it, but when I built it, I kind of was thinking about a more serious mini golf course. I mean, as far as taking mini golf seriously, we all kind of know it started off I don't know if it started off as a child sport, but it's looked at as a kid's sport and then adults play with the kids. But I mean, do you feel that mini golf, at least in the last 10 years, because you've been playing professionally for a while, do you think it's kind of taking a more professional look, or do you think it's still kind of from the outside, still a kid's game and people don't take it as seriously? What courses would you say in the area that are challenging enough to where kids wouldn't really necessarily?
I think there's a mixture of both right now. Some people still can see it as a kid's game, whereas, others take it, as a competitive sport, and there's.
Feel free to go right into that mic. Yeah.
And I feel like it has to do with what kind of course you're actually playing too, because the old school windmills and timing, you got buoys to go through. And I feel like that's more geared towards kids, the timing of it versus the courses where it's more slopey, speeds are more geared towards the competitive part of putting mini golf.
Well, I think that's part of the appeal behind mini golf because not every situation are you going to want to go and have an extremely competitive miniature golf course. Like if I was somebody going on a date, well, I don't want a slopes course. I want something with windmills and lighthouses where you can relax and have fun as opposed to dial in and worried about angles and that sort of thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. And even when mini golf courses are built, a lot of them are built with bricks, and it's not aimed at the trajectory angle where your putt is going to make this angle and you go for that. It's kind of like if you hit a brick and it hits back, you kind of go, oh, well, that's cool. But I mean, do you think there's room in mini golf for people to start building new courses in a serious manner?
Yeah.
I don't mean to put down other courses. I really don't, because I think people build courses to make money.
Right.
And kids bring in the money. That's, as a business, me not allowing kids in is a huge business faux pas. People are kind of why would you do that? You could double your profits. And it's well, it is about profits, but it's also about being taken seriously. And I really feel like I want to be, the business that pushes mini golf forward and makes a leap, because I've been watching disc golf for years and years and years, and I've been playing it for years. And finally, in the last 5 years, it's a serious sport now. Yeah. It's on ESPN. It's being taken seriously. And then you got Holy Moly, which is a great show, but I don't know if they took it seriously.
They didn't.
It was more fun, which is fine. But do you see other courses in the area that are taking it seriously and trying to what other tournaments have you played in the area?
Well, excuse me. There's a new tournament that my wife's going to run, and they refurbished their course, and it's all slopes.
Oh yeah,
it's all true. Okay. It's the perfect putter's course, and they're open to run a tournament, and Anna's been coordinating with them, and she has more details about that.
Yeah. So they were super excited that I wanted to run a tournament there, and the reason why it's built that way is because we have a golf pro that was the owner of the cider mill, and he took putting very seriously, and he actually did the Masters, I believe, a couple of times. He knows of the U.S. Opens, and he thinks it can be a competitive sport. So, if you have more people like that opening courses, we talked about bricks, right? He doesn't have bricks. It's all concrete, so you know exactly how it's
Was it bricks before it was redone or no?
I don't
We
know.
didn't see it before, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know what it looked like before, but I feel like it's probably new because I heard there wasn't really any barriers around the holes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, if we have people who are competitive and look at the sport in a different way, then if they keep hosting tournaments and we have mini golfers who are competitive, that's why I'm hosting one, not only to add a tournament, but to also like bring more awareness to the sport and how competitive it can be and how much skill it requires.
But do you feel like it's a tougher sell in the Northeast just because of the limited season?
The
Like
weather.
if it was
Yes.
Arizona, Florida, you got Pop Stroke.
Yes.
Those are year round. Those are putters courses.
I know.
Up here, you're looking April to October, so you got to get all the business in.
I know, because you can't help but look at the business side of
I
the
know.
course, and I'm the one that's like, oh, why wouldn't you build a challenging course? Well, I'm in the inside of a mill. I can be open year round.
Yeah.
When you're aiming at like April to October is your only business time. And especially Cape Cod or down in South Carolina,
Right.
more Cape Cod, it's like they have a season.
I know.
So they try to bring in as many people as possible, including kids, make it durable,
Yes.
but also make it very accessible to all players. And the more challenging you make it, you're kind of pushing people away. But so it's hard to convince a business to say, hey, make this big investment
I know.
into
Right.
making this serious. you
So
know?
one of the things that I'm really hoping is I think they just opened a Pop Stroke course indoor in either Nashville or Arizona. I can't remember.
I know about Pop Stroke, but what's the details of Pop? Like, is it really high end?
Oh, they look like mini golf courses.
Okay.
Is what
It's all
they, like,
it's all slopes.
it's all slopes.
All
They have
slopes.
sand traps that are real, like kind of
Okay.
sand traps. Like, yeah.
Yeah, to one. I've been to one, and I would say I'm a fan because I feel like that's gonna be mini golf's
Yes.
key
Future.
to getting bigger.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, people like Tiger Woods endorsing mini golf. You have Justin Timberlake with the par 3 courses that are also indoor. So stuff like that happening around mini golf is, I feel, what's gonna lead us to getting like bigger tournaments, way more turnouts. So I'm like rooting for those.
And there's
type of
restaurants and bars at
Yeah.
Pop Stroke,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's the other side of it. To
Right.
be a stable business or to just bring in people, hey, come eat, come drink. And by the way, we have a course and it's going to just bring in more people naturally.
Well, a big golf course, that's exactly what they always have a bar
That's true.
and they
Yeah,
always have
guys.
a restaurant.
And they
Well,
have
you
the
figure
cart
they-
girl going around.
And they got a cart. So they're trying to
Yep.
bring in that element.
Yep.
And I think the reason why it hasn't grown too is the meaning of the word mini golf, the perception around it. They think mini golf, like that sounds like a really
there's golf
fun.
and then there's like mini golf.
yeah, like it's just sounds like
Yep.
fun and like, which it is, but not in a competitive way. So Justin and I have tried to like say like, especially for people who haven't heard of the idea of competing in mini golf, I say competitive putting.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Same.
That's
I try to
literally
say
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I
That's
feel
what
like
it is.
people will take you more seriously when
Yeah.
you say competitive putting instead of
Yep.
competitive mini golf.
Yeah.
Or professional putter.
Yeah.
It's a professional
Yeah.
mini
That's
golf.
interesting. I could probably start changing my verbatim a little bit. Because
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
I noticed I did like a little kind of experiment. So people at work, my teammates know I play and everything, but it's a lot of explaining what it is. First time I've never heard of that. I've noticed that if you say competitive mini golf, the reaction is like kind of a laugh and like
oh, that's cute.
yeah. If you say competitive putting, they're like, oh, really? Like, you do tournaments and stuff like that. It really helps to like use the term putting.
That's great. Okay, that's a really good idea. I mean, what about like does Pop Stroke use a lot of digital, like lights and arrows and like,
Nope.
or is
No,
it a
they do have
professional?
electronic scoreboard.
I was
Yes.
gonna say they do have a big scoreboard.
So the
which
ball.
they highlight, all the lowest
Best scores of the day.
Okay.
things like that. But other than that, it's just extremely simple. It's
Yep.
more towards like putting on a golf course
Okay.
instead of putting on a adventure golf course.
Yes.
So it's real putting. It's not.
Yeah.
There's no obstacles or anything. Obviously, no windmills or anything.
Obstacles, so it's
Okay.
all just slopes,
Yep.
and your speeds.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
And
Wild.
Surprising amount of backdoor options though when you play.
I was going to ask about
Right, because it's a lot of like high slopes.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's
So
say
you-
I missed the hole long, I can actually tail it off the
Yes.
back.
Sure.
And it's made with AstroTurf, so but it's,
So it appeals to golfers.
yes.
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 And then they're just like, like the putting is the part of the game that I'm not going to say the exciting part because driving is probably exciting, but getting to the green is one thing, and then there's the putting. And I think that's they've really nailed the not professional, but the golf is probably one of the biggest sports out there because it reaches all ages.
Yeah.
To your 80, you can golf. I mean, it's
And I was gonna say, I think that's another reason why we're gonna see a progression of mini golf, because we're seeing this progression in golf.
okay.
There's like a flood of people that are starting to play golf, and it's just growing every year.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just gonna make people explore the other styles of golf.
Sure.
Disc golf, I mean, like you mentioned, mini golf,
Yep.
and a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Fling golf, I mean, there's a whole bunch
Fling
of
golf?
Yeah,
I'm sure that's something.
you can look in.
Okay, yeah.
But,
There's even
yeah.
shoe golf, right? Where they do their shoes.
Oh my goodness.
There's an Uno card game version of golf. So
gosh.
yeah, golf is, and I think there's a petition on change.org for changing golf to big golf and mini golf to golf. So and it's got over 1 million
See, I call-
signatures.
Very interesting.
I call, golf, whatever, traditional golf.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Because it is golf. I mean, even though it's just putting,
Right.
it's still
It's a
golf.
it's a
You're
form-
using
It
a club
is.
and a
form
ball.
of golf, right?
Yeah.
It
Right,
is.
right.
So it's not even necessarily mini golf. 'Cause
there's nothing miniature.
you're
about-
not driving in a mini,
Exactly.
like you're still
You're putting.
putting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Are there any other courses that are and again, I don't want to talk about my course too much, but you've played a lot in the last couple weeks, that has like trajectories and very slight, angles and we have to get it just barely in here. And if you don't, you get screwed.
I mean,
it's what you're talking about, right? So like if it's thread the needle, well, there's courses where you got to thread the needle on certain putts, but as far as angles, this course is definitely an anomaly on
Yeah.
the calendar compared to other courses, which is good. I mean, I think it would be difficult if all 29 tournaments on the calendar
We're that tough. Yeah.
were like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the appeal with it too, is certain courses have different appeals. Like if you're going to
That's good.
New Jersey and you're getting a 27, 29,
True.
and then you come in here
Yeah.
and you're setting a course record with a 40
40 or you get
or 41.
41 tournament record,
But pre-
39 non-tournament.
Yeah,
so.
I've got the video on that.
Yeah,
we'll
you did?
upload that.
Oh, sounds good.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I mean,
You got a unique course to where you built your course trying to almost, I don't know if it was intentional, but almost trying to eliminate the aces. Other courses,
Yeah.
I feel like they build it around aces.
Aces.
True.
You know what I
Interesting.
mean? So that for pro putters like us,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Because when you get an ace on my course, it's
that- it
worth
is.
it. It's like,
Oh,
holy
yeah.
shit.
that's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
your course is like par threes.
Yeah.
You would consider every hole par three, give or take. So, getting a 2 is almost like getting an ace
Yeah.
at another course. And then you get an ace here and then you just got
Yeah.
2 shots, you know?
You did. Yeah.
And I think, this course, someone watching the course from, not coming to play it would have a different idea versus actually playing your course. Because I think your course is very true. You have to have a lot of skill at your course to get the low scores and the
Yeah.
consistency. Because you just got to, your tee shots are very important here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
that-
think, that's what you really want, the tee shots and, trying to get some, tap in 2s here and there, but
it's not even, that's what's unique about it. Like in a lot of courses, you hit your tee shot, you're near the hole.
Yeah.
You hit your tee shot to set you up for a good second shot,
Yep.
in some case third shot. So that's what's unique about this course.
Cool.
So
Yeah, you-
curious, wanted to ask you because, we've been to a lot of courses like Harris design courses that are kind of, cut and paste and they're good in their own right. But so like when you built this by hand, right? What goes into the thought process for you, like when you're designing a hole?
Well, it's graph paper. So what's really cool about my course is I started with, so I'm a big believer in parameters. When I build something or create something, I don't just go, all right, let's just start from scratch. I say, okay, I've got these 8x4 pieces of plywood, okay? And I've got these 2x4s that are 8 feet long. That's perfect for a rail. So like, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to build this course on 1, 2, or 3, or 4 pieces of 4x8 plywood. And then on graph paper, I'm like, okay, I got my sections. How do I want to get there? And I literally, I use angles and everything, and I kind of look at how it is on the paper. And now how it plays is not exactly that, because when you hit a ball, it has spin, and when it hits a wall, it's got all these other things. So, I build the course, or I build the holes lifted up on sawhorses, and I screw things underneath. So it's above ground, so I'm able to roll the ball as it's being built, and I see like, oh, that needs to move, and I'll unscrew something and move it over and screw it back in until I got a good angle. Then I say, great, drop it, and then that's the hole. So it was all graph paper, and beforehand, I just look at it, and I have these ideas, especially the string pulls. That's a whole different idea. I don't think any other course is kind of doing that, and it was very risky because it's not traditional mini golf, but at the same time, I made them skill based. They're not always just luck. It's not like
Definitely
Plinko.
not luck, right?
Yeah,
right.
So,
True.
But so I did look at it in a way of a graph paper, and then what I have to work with, and then I just go from there. And then I haven't done this yet. I haven't done a dog leg left. Let's see if I can fit that in there. And what was cool is when I had my first course. Luckily, I don't think any of you played my first course. It was like, I always call it baby's first course. It was as if some bright-eyed guy was like, I'm going to want to have a mini golf course. I had these ramps that were like 8 feet high.
Oh.
And then in the very beginning, I didn't have nets. I just thought, oh, everyone's going to be careful. And the ball started flying. And then I'm like, oh, now we got to start building, things and canopies. And I started building on top of that. And 3 or 4 years into that, I was like, I need to start from scratch. I have better ideas. I want to keep the course lower.
Yeah.
I want it to be very, consistent from hole to hole. So I rebuilt the course 1 hole at a time every week. So when I was closed for 2 days, I would lift up a hole, rebuild the hole, put it back down before I opened Wednesday, and then the next one. And I also wanted to move the course further to have more room for my pool table. So all these parameters fell into the design of the course, and that I figured out I have poles in the way, so I need to go around the poles. So a lot of that comes into it. And honestly, it was pretty easy looking at it with all those parameters saying, this is the only way I can do it. And then each hole separately, what's on the hole was a little bit more of a choice. But how the holes were going to be is kind of like, I have to go there and I have to go left because the holes are going to go that way. And yeah. So,
it's very impressive.
And Harris, and like you were mentioning, Harris is a big mini golf developer, and they do a lot of courses. I don't know how they work, where you give them your parameters saying, hey, I got 8,000 square feet outside, you got to do this. And I'm sure they have professionals that do the similar thing, but they pour concrete, and they're able to do very elaborate stuff. And now with spray felt or spray turf or whatever it is now, I think a lot of courses are moving away from the actual turf and just designing cement and then just spraying down their turf, and that way you never get wrinkles, you never get anything like that. So it's a whole different I think, and I've looked into their kind of style, and I respect it, even though it's a simpler design, but at the same time, I don't want to design other courses, but I really hope other people kind of push the boundaries a little bit, but maybe I'm the only course that does it. I don't know, maybe I'm I'm fine with it. But you guys are the ones that play these courses. I, own this course. So, you wouldn't want like you said, you wouldn't want every course like this.
No.
You kind of like
But I like that
putting,
it's here. Yeah. This is a fun tournament that we look forward to, really.
One thing, I don't think playing mini golf, I've ever had more fun than when I come in here. There's something about your course that makes it very exciting. I don't know what it is, hitting it off the back doors or whatever, but I was telling Anna, this is the one course that's the most exciting. It's
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
I've never been as excited
different.
to shoot a 52,
I know, that's true. And Tom from AMA brought this up during the stream a couple of weeks ago. He said that that the scores are just getting lower and lower and lower. Even though I changed the course, I don't think I make it easier every year, even though I did block off a couple spots this year to make it a little bit more. Yeah, but the scores are getting lower and lower. So the competition is getting heavier and heavier
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And I don't know how low you guys are going to push it, but I'm welcoming myself to push you guys as well to try to see how much better you can get. So
Yeah.
I think
you,
this
no,
year, I think this year will be the lowest that.
You said that last year.
that
though.
I know.
anyone could get. No,
He
but
did.
based off what Jeff was saying, how he's
Yeah.
changing 16, so that's no longer going to be an ace or
And it's-
2,
yep,
right? So
correct.
it's going to be a 3 or a 4 probably, right?
And then there's going to be a full 18.
And then 18.
Oh,
So this
well, then
this
it
will
can't-
probably be
Yep.
the lowest,
Yep.
the 85 that
So,
it
yeah.
probably could ever be, I guess.
And what about like European courses? I mean, I don't want to interrupt if you were going to say something. Okay. So like European courses, you know what I'm talking about with like the slate or whatever they use, and it's always forward, and then the green is circular.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have to bank it off the back. That is so intriguing to
I'm a
me.
huge fan.
So have you played over there or
But
played any
I've
course?
studied them all now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all the same shape. The only difference is the obstacles.
Yep. And they're not crazy obstacles. It's just sometimes a hill.
Yeah.
There isn't like things in the way usually, or sometimes there is, but and you watch like people putt on it and they are just so into like, you got to get that perfect line.
Oh, it's got to be perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I find it so exciting to watch. Because and it's so simple. So I mean, my course is complicated, but a simple course can still be very exciting. Yeah.
Are there any courses like that around here? I'm trying to picture.
Yeah,
I've
I don't know.
None
I
in
haven't
the
seen
US.
any.
I have not seen any. No.
None in the US.
There's a market for it, I think. I don't know.
I believe so. And Tom, myself, and Pat were talking about the idea of somebody eventually starting a European style course. But there's 3 different varieties we can go with. There's the felt, there's Ethernyte, and then there's some the concrete.
Concrete, yeah. That never
And
stops rolling.
The concrete and Ethernyte have the same dimensions, but the felt has different dimensions of the course. Like
Wild.
they're all, I believe, 16 feet, but the felt courses have octagon ends and the other ones have circles.
See, the circle, yeah, I would find that interesting because the circle is very unreliable. Well, it's reliable because if you hit it right, it is what it is. But having actual, like, jutted angles could be a whole different, like,
But it
style
also
to
changes
it.
the game with, like you were saying, with the unreliability of the circle.
Yeah.
The ball is also completely different too. So the bounces,
that's right.
the
Highlighter was
bounces
talking
are
about that,
much more true than you would get with a golf ball that
True.
has 100 and something dimples.
And you can choose different
right.
balls for each hole, right? It's like a bouncier ball or a
Yeah.
heavier ball. I'm thinking about making that option for next year too. I don't know. I was talking to Highlighter. Highlighter shot me a lot of
I'm a
suggestions.
multi-ball
So.
fan.
The Matt's
I'm a multi-ball fan. So
Multi-ball? Yeah.
I am
let's go
too.
with
Okay.
it.
I'm the only old school guy.
No,
I don't like the small balls, but
Yeah.
that's more out of stubbornness to want to learn
Yeah.
how to hit 11 different types of ball.
In a way, I'm with Matt with keeping everyone the same ball.
One
but,
AMA ball.
But that's the modern era is of mini of putting. I feel like is learning the different balls.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. Other countries are using all the different balls. In U.S. we haven't as much.
Yeah, we're
but,
the only country.
But
right?
they're also.
But we're getting into it,
great.
and I think that's really the new day and age of competitive putting is getting used to, because that's a skill, just learning
Yeah.
how to adjust on the fly. Okay, I got to use a bouncy ball,
Right.
and you got to know how to adjust just like that.
Yeah. So
I think it would almost be like I would have 2 tournaments. I'd have a standard AMA ball tournament and then a crazy
whatever
with
ball.
mandatory. So this year I'm releasing a new version of this course with mandatories, meaning you have to go through a certain section on the way. Also, so if you think of hole 1, right, where there's those sections on the left that your ball would never go through. Well, imagine if the mandatory was you have to come back this way through that and then work your way out
That's
with
interesting.
no limit. So no max.
Interesting.
Oh,
So,
God.
so that's another idea I have. And then duos, there's a lot of like stroke play. There's some cool ideas, but I want to really explore mini golf. I think there's so much potential. Now that I've met all of you, like when I built this place, I didn't want to have tournaments.
Yeah.
I just didn't think about it. I was like, this is a different course. This is just for fun,
Yeah.
whatever. But now that I've really met good players, it's making me kind of go, how can I play with you guys a little bit more? Like, how can I push you guys even more? Not difficulty, but just more fun and more variety. And yeah.
So I think the different balls are good because, we're only putting, only putting. And so if you master a course, how do you make it harder?
Yeah.
Let's use different balls.
Yes.
So I feel like that's part of it. And these people overseas, like these are elite players.
Yes, they look it.
Yeah.
They're so serious. There's no laughing.
Oh no.
It's I've watched a whole tournament before and it's quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
intense.
But
yeah.
that's like traditional golf, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's the kind of.
Yep.
Yes.
But do you find there's any concern though between like you want to get new players into the sport, right? But at the same time, those balls
You don't want to overwhelm
create a
them.
separation, right?
Right.
A game that's affordable for everyone. So
Correct.
now I have to go get another putter
Yeah.
or put a rubber on it for like $70-something, right? And then sets of balls, or I guess spend
Are
$100
really
on a set of
expensive.
balls.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's, nothing inherently wrong with it, but I mean, it's like, so what's the goal? Where's the challenge, right? To make the professional players that much better and keep up with the rest of the world, or bring in casual Susie or Johnny that wants to come in and play and say, oh yeah, well, I'd love to have you come play, but by the way, just make sure you invest in these 11 balls before you come to the court.
Right.
But I mean, and thankfully there's such a great group of organizers with AMA that are helping to kind of like figure out those things, you know?
Yep.
And I think that it's good that, out of the schedule of tournaments, there's some that keep the traditional ball
It's a good
and
variety.
some that give you the option.
Absolutely.
So at least someone that's new can go to one that they don't have to use these different balls that they're completely unfamiliar with.
Yep.
Well, like you're not going to go to Farmington and hit a clicker.
Right. Or the bouncy ball.
And I think that's frustrating for like in my world, like trading card games like Magic and Pokemon. Like the good players sometimes have $200 cards that are very rare but very overpowered. And how are you going to play against that? You got to do proxies and you got to run a whole different range. So like you're right, where if someone just doesn't have the money or doesn't have the will to go into these elaborate balls, that this one guy has got $600 worth of great balls that are perfect for this course, you are kind of limiting that. So I'll always take that in perspective. But the tradition, I play a lot of mini golf too, but traditional ball I think is the way that I prefer it, but I've never played with these other balls. So
I would be curious to see how it bounces on.
I know, right?
I've never seen it bounce
Well, there's
off
so
the
many
wood
different
before.
kinds.
Yeah.
I think it's tough for us because like I don't know if it was you who mentioned this, Brandon, but we're trying to keep up with the rest of the world, the competitive putters, but our pocket is so small in the US right now. Like we're trying to attract people to the sport and we're trying to get them the idea that mini golf can be a competition and like they're going to be professional and all that stuff. And then you hand them balls and they're like, wait, what is this? And so like you're already trying to convince them to like play competitively and then you just introduce this whole nother thing that is an expensive thing.
When did the European style courses and balls, when did that even start? Was that a really long time ago or was it recent?
Yeah.
Like over there or here?
Okay, over there.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, so they've just been doing it for a while, but by this time it's generations and we go, this is what we do.
We're just way behind.
Yeah, we're just way behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you go to the Olympics and there's a few countries that always win because they have the top things and
Big trainers
and you
huge
got
gyms for that.
countries like Jamaica and the bobsled a million years ago.
Cool runnings.
I know. I'm just saying, like, we're definitely at the bottom in terms of the countries and competitiveness, and it's just going to take a lot of time. I mean, in those countries, you say, "Oh, I'm a competitive putter." No one bats an eye. Oh, that's great. Like, we know there's clubs all over the place. You say I'm a competitive putter, and they're like, "What? What is that?"
Really?
It's like it's very different. It's very different.
They have clubs in Europe or whatever, and they play like 6 days a week. They go. That's their thing.
Memberships.
So
it's just different.
Here we don't really, have any options for that right now. But that's just they're way ahead of us.
We just got a long way to go, and I think it's just going to take time. And I feel like me running a tournament, like part of it is also introducing another thing in the professional world, but also like I'm telling my work friends, I'm telling my big golf friends, and like all that stuff because they know I do it, but I want to get them involved because maybe there'll be a few people that stick. They're like, oh, this is really great. I enjoy this. I'm good at it. Like, and I want to get better. And like, it just takes a handful of people at a time.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to work as hard as I can to push mini golf on a serious competitive level. And not to say it isn't. I think AMA does a great job.
Yeah.
I'm spacing on the Southern version that runs the Masters and everything. But, there are serious organizations that take this seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, and like you said, like just telling your friends that, hey, remember mini golf? Like you played it as a kid? Like it's a thing now.
Yeah.
Like don't laugh. It's a thing now.
Yeah.
Like this is real. There's real money.
Yep.
I was gonna say, they laugh until you're like, Justin just won $700 bucks.
Yeah. And then you go like,
they don't know the money that's in it.
$700.
and that's that when I open this video game tournament play. So they're always like, oh, video games. And I'm like, no, some of them walk away with $500, $600 in tournaments. I mean, this is, and it's not maybe even about the money. It's about the clout. Like some of these people have like 10,000 Instagram followers, and they're like, because of their tournament plays, because they're just, and they're looked up to. And then all of a sudden kids are looking up to professional mini golfers. And I watch the disc golf scene so intently, and I love what's going on. And it turned it from just throwing discs in a woods to a real competitive environment with big money.
So
and
do a lot of folks travel for that?
yeah, world.
And that's where we're trying to grow with competitive putting, right? Whereas, and I think it's just been like, for me, it's been in the last couple of years. Like I did Tennessee and we went to Georgia last year, all of us, and the experience with that. But there has to be a certain amount of money behind that, right? Because you have to look at those. We work regular jobs, and oh, by the way, it's going to cost you $1,500 to go play. Well, there's got to be a certain prize pool to kind of go with that. But it's just starting to grow, and you're starting to see in the last couple of years, different players travel to different regions, and then the community starts to grow and kind of appreciate each other a little more, thus making it a little bit bigger.
Are any players sponsored at all? Like with like Taylor made or
no, that would
I've only ever seen one. Remember, so Olivia, remember way back in the day. So there's one player, Olivia Prokopova, where the first tournament we ever did was 2002 up in Simsbury at this course, and the girl was 8 years old. She started playing when she was 3. Came over from Czech Republic, was sponsored to come and play, and she beat me at least.
She was in the pro division, and she was right up there with the top pros at the time. And I remember looking at her, like, what is going on? This 8-year-old is a killer. Like, and now she's an absolute killer. But,
wild.
Yeah. But I wanted to expand on what Matt was saying about how it's trying to expand. We have qualifiers now to go play in Europe now. So there's about 2 or 3 qualifiers in the U.S. now, running pretty much every mini golf season. Where if you get a certain amount of points by coming in the top 5 to 10, and if you get enough of points, you qualify to go play in this bigger tournament in Europe. And me and my wife Anna were fortunate enough to qualify. And
great, congrats on that.
And that's something that we'll be doing in May.
Great.
So.
Yeah. And we were talking about the expense traveling. It's a lot, but I mean, we're like, what's going to be good about it is hopefully there are organizations like the AMA or other organizations around mini golf that might charge like a membership fee or something. And maybe part of that membership fee is like people who qualify, like we'll use some of that money to help them with travel expenses. We'll give different prizes, not just like the top 10, but like best like regional person or person who played the most. So like, maybe there will be things like that to incentivize and like increase the population of people going overseas from here.
And I think big productions of like video and audio productions of these, so that when sponsored players wear their sponsored name on there, it's a value to the company that's sponsoring. I sponsored 2 players that played that Jersey one that was a little while ago, and
Boston
and his friend Roman.
Yes.
So they went down and they printed up their own Prodigy shirts, and I helped them expenses get down there. So I thought that was really cool, but I didn't get to see it. It was supposed to be on ESPN Ocho or something.
You weren't missing that much.
I know. I heard.
I was on there for 8 seconds. I missed the putt on number 7, and that was it.
That was it.
I will.
It's nice though that at least it's getting on TV.
It was
starting. It's starting.
Something.
Yeah.
If that's the building block behind what grows for being on television, it's a great start.
And even though the setting was not great, they did a really good job of editing, I thought.
production
I
was
thought
amazing.
the production was
The production
really
was
good.
out of this
That's so
world.
like I knew what it was gonna be because I was there and I was like, this isn't great, but but then I saw like clips and I'm like, well, they actually did a really good job considering what was
surprised,
there. Yeah,
ESPN
it's
quality.
very good. It was really good. Yeah.
So yes, in person it wasn't amazing by any means, but on TV it did look okay. I
Cool.
didn't even tell my parents though when it was airing.
yeah,
Because I thought it was not going to look good at all.
right.
That
But
is a little
the
funny
editing was
story.
really good.
Because
so.
what you're saying, Matt, like, go ahead. Yeah.
No.
Okay. What you were saying is like, yes, it gets a foothold in the serious world, but
Yeah.
if it's not presented seriously or if it doesn't look serious, then
Right.
it kind of takes a step
Because
backwards.
realistically, you only got like 1 or 2 shots to kind of like be taken serious in that foray. Otherwise, we're going to be seen as what was it, a goat tossing, or what was the event that played after that on the Ocho?
Yeah, some-
All the
yeah.
other extremely pseudo fringe
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
sports that nobody would ever take seriously, right? But I would just think, even if 5 years ago, if we had been sitting around going, we're going to be broadcast on national television, we'd have been like, no,
That's true.
Of course
And
not.
it took, I think it was disc golf 2 years ago, one of the World's tournament, one of the guys made an enormously long putt to tie the score, and they went into playoffs, and he needed that. And it made on Sports Center, like, I think it was like number 1 or number 2. Like, that's what it
Awesome.
takes.
Wow.
Like, it takes a serious organization to say, and it was funny because the guy said, oh, we have a Frisbee golf. Like, they didn't, even the announcers didn't fully take it seriously, but when you watched it, the crowd was massive.
Yeah.
And people were running out there, and it was like people had like flags and they were like running around like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was such a spectacle, and it looked so good for disc golf that I feel like they just took that leap
Yeah.
up just by being featured on ESPN Sports
Right.
Center.
Yeah.
Those little things. So I think for next year, I really want to look into a big production team, and I feel like the more I do it, because like I can invest in this, I want to invest in this, and I want to make my tournament look so good
Yeah.
that it raises the bar for others to be like, oh, we could do this too. Or like, we
Yeah.
could, and
That would be awesome.
And the more people come at mine, the bigger the pot gets, and we
Yes.
all grow together. And
Yeah.
it just takes one to just push it to the limits,
Yeah.
to the point where we have 2 years ago we had commentary. We had a commentary booth. We were doing interviews. I love that. Even though I'm tapping into my security cameras, which aren't like, they're 4K, but they're not like right in your face, right. So I want to get maybe like a 3 or 4 crew of cameras and really do a really nice job and really push it forward. And that's my idea is where I want to go with it. So
If we can show the rest of show everybody else the passion that we have for playing miniature golf and what's possible, just like you can show everybody the passion behind the design of the courses themselves,
Right.
that's part of what can take it to that next level. And even on the broadcasting side, Dave Vita would be a great person to talk with as far
Definitely.
as
He's a good commentator, and he loves it. He loves commentating. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
I think we did an interview with him maybe the first year. I don't remember. I have to go back, but yeah, I would definitely get more into that.
Dave Vita actually commentates the bigger tournaments that I
Yeah.
was just talking
That's
about,
right, yeah.
the ones overseas. So,
Yeah. He's got
He
a good
did
voice.
Georgia.
oh yeah, he's great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Cool.
I actually got to say, shout out to Tally Ho, because I am a sponsored guy.
Oh, there you go.
I'm on Team Tally Ho.
Oh, that's right.
Cool.
So
Excellent.
Tally Ho is a mini golf scorecard app. So if you're tired of the paper to pen, just download the app. It's right on your phone.
I think they've gotten a
It'll
hold
track
of me.
all your stuff.
Yeah.
Sure they
Probably,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think at that time, at least, like in my place, I don't like people on their phones, and it's not like I don't want to. Like, I just don't want to give someone an excuse to all of a sudden like flip through their social media when they're putting their score in and going like, oh, what did I got a Snapchat. Like, I kind of want phones in the pocket, but I think it's time to give that option because it's a great option.
Yeah, and that's what I say, because that's what my home course, Dusty Planet. That's the same thing they kind of said.
Yep.
They were like, we want to kind of detach people from, their devices,
Yeah.
which makes sense. But
Sure.
in all reality, this is how they're gonna find
Exactly. I'm not going to try to keep
Well,
people off their phones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the
So-
Tally Ho, do they do real-time scoring like if you were to do a tournament?
Yep. Yep.
And so that's one of the appeals too. Like when we did
Definitely, so
Matterhorn
people
or in
can keep up
Georgia,
on it.
I don't have to go and go, hey,
How'd you do?
Justin, how did you do?
Yep.
You just
all
look
I got to
it
do
up.
is open it up
Yeah.
and look and go,
That's
I like
wow, in
looking
real
at
time.
stats. Everyone loves stats and analytics
That's kind of the
nowadays.
nerdy thing behind it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't get those stats or analytics in real time if you do paper scoring. So
Yeah.
And with
that's-
disc golf,
that's
it's called.
something they were trying to push as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like all of us, they're just really gung ho on trying to get mini golf worldwide.
I'll finally get back to their email. I think you convinced me. You did your job. That's awesome. Keep
Good
sponsoring.
job, Brandon.
Yeah, it's
You
awesome.
guys see that? Please send me some more stuff. Thanks.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
On that note, I think we should go play a playoff. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds good.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for sitting down
right.
for this.
Thank
and
you for
coming
having
back
us.
up. Yeah, it was such a weird tournament, and we made it work. I don't
you
know
did.
how.
Yeah.
The snowstorm screwed the tournament, but
It's
everyone
okay.
still made
It's
it.
one we're
and-
going to remember.
Yeah.
Big time. And to the
And-
point where you had to come back for a playoff because we didn't know who won at the
I
end.
know.
So,
But Jeff, I feel like, I know it was a lot, and you offered, I think in total, maybe 4 different tee times for people. Like that's a good, huge testament to you and your dedication, because a lot of tournament owners
wouldn't have done. They would have said like,
that.
"Oh, let's push it off." But
Right.
I will actually thank Dave Vida for emailing me. Like, I don't pay attention to the weather. Like, I'm kind of just in my own world. I don't
Yeah.
pay attention to anything. And he emailed me. He's like, "Oh, what about this storm coming in?" And I'm like,
a storm.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's like middle of winter, of course. And I'm like, oh. So I looked and I'm like, oh shit, this could
looks
be
bad,
you know.
yeah.
So I talked to him initially, and he was like, and not to give his thing away, but he was flying out, but he might have had to change his plans to fly. So he was the first one that initiated, like, hey, what if I came in on this day? And I'm like, oh, what if I just made different times?
Yeah.
And so it worked out. I hope we don't have to do that again, because it lost the
I know,
the
tournament
community
setting.
of everyone
I
in
know.
one
Right,
room
at the same time.
I
God,
know.
it was so good, but
You worked with what you had. And
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
You did a really good
I had
job.
a
You
lot
made
of
the best
snow.
of it. Yes.
Right.
and being indoor is the first good thing. So,
Right.
you know,
And only losing, you lost 3 people.
3 people.
That's really good.
Yeah, I know.
Really good.
And if we had that, we would have had, I think, one more than last year. Like, and I didn't have a lot of my locals sign up this year because I think there's the competition's getting so fierce that I think some people are kind of like, why would I do that?
You gotta do an amateur
So
division.
that's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm 100% next year. I might cut it down from the 10
Yeah.
to like top 5, and then do a top 3 amateur
Yeah.
with it as well. So
Yeah, it works.
and to offer prizes for them too, because I think that incentive to come in and
Yeah.
be, if
That's why I that was one of the first things that I figured out when I'm hosting the April tournament. And the problem is all these people that I want to get into this, like people from my big golf league, people from work that play regular golf, like all that stuff, like they're not going to play. They know how I do. They know I'm good, and they know that we're good. They don't want to do a pro division. They're not going to win anything. So,
and sometimes it's not all about winning, but it's also like if the competition is 20,
It's
30
just too
strokes
much,
away,
yeah.
you're just like, it's not going to be enjoyable.
Exactly.
So I want to make sure that
So,
happens. Yeah.
to incentivize that group of people. Otherwise, you're just getting the same people, which great for us.
Hey,
but
I love you guys.
We want more people to enter the world
Definitely.
of mini golf.
Yeah,
So
my first year, I think we had like 8 or 9 locals,
Yeah.
and meaning locals like my Prodigy, just people that come in and hang out.
Yeah.
And this year we'd won.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it goes down, and but I want to give them incentive again. So stop being so good. It's your fault. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, okay, let's go play a playoff and let's see what happens.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
Thank you guys. Awesome.
you.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Nice 3.
Drop in.
Nice through.
Sit. All right. Breathe. And we're still tied. Tied. There.
Safe.
It's all right. You know that putt. Nice putt. Good
I
putt.
have to admit the silence was deafening.
Safe, Brandon. Same thing. Give or take.
shot.
Great shot.
That is a cool shot. Good throw.
All right.
Wow.
Well played, man.
Great job, guys.
That was a tough range.